Hey everybody, we're going to take a look at this knife here. This is the Cold Steel Immortal. I've had this thing on back order since January and it finally got here today, and I'm super excited to share it with you guys and give a look at it. Pretty cool looking blade, a little bit different looking, a little bit the same of some other things that they've made, but very interesting nonetheless. So let's get into this. You got a 4-inch CTS XHP Gladius cut blade here. Really nice satin finish on this thing. Definitely attractive, definitely different. I sound like Rain Man. It's definitely an Immortal. Definitely Kmart, Oak and Burnett. Alright, I'm done. But it's got 5 inches GT, tan GT, the G10 handle here. No liners. Keeps it fairly light for a knife this size. 4 inches, 9 inches overall. Let's see what it weighs here real quick. Check this out. .8. That's not too bad. Not for what you're getting with this. You got that Anju Demko thumb plate on there. Waves nicely. I've been waving it today out of my pocket. So it flips open really well. Grabs a hold pretty, not any problems grabbing a hold of your pocket. It's got, of course it's got that Anju Demko triad lock through here. Just makes this thing super sturdy. No blade play, of course. Nothing, no rock, no anything on this thing. Got aluminum backspacer here with a little face raker, walnut breaker, dot maker here. That would not be a good feeling on any part of the body for sure. So that makes that, and of course it's got a sweet lanyard hole. Oh, hold on a second. I'll be right back. Don't go nowhere. I got to bring something out. Okay, sorry about that. I had to get in the drawer. Alright, it kind of is reminiscent of this thing on the AD10 that I have here from Anju Demko. You know, if you look at that, you can kind of see the similarities in the way they got the lanyard hole and the way they got this backspacer, a little bit of jimping face raking on here. I couldn't find anything like this on my other Cold Steels. You know, you'd think maybe the AK-47, but it's a lot different. This has got more of a point to it. This would really mess you up as far as just getting jabbed in the forehead, but also as a glass breaker, that would work pretty well. Alright, hold on one second. Alright, what else we got here? Let's see. Opens nicely, of course. No liners. And I got these knives over here. I know it's kind of obvious. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through why I have these here. This I have here just because of the grip. If you have a Frenzy, you'll notice the similarities in the way that they contoured this grip. You can probably see it better that way. See how they did the ridges? Very similar to the back end of this Frenzy. So right through here is very similar to what this grip feels like from the front here. Now I do like this flare here where you get two guards, you know, like a sword kind of thing, where it's, you know, you're gonna be protected from running your hand up that blade. Not that that's a huge deal. I don't think a lot of people are doing heavy grip stabbing like that. But that's why I wanted to bring this out, just to show you that. And I'm gonna bring this back out in a second to show you something else. Now this one I brought out just to show you, if you have a Recon 1, you're gonna know how this feels across the back, and kind of depth wise this way, and then thickness wise that way. Now the feels on the contour of the grip, those are a lot different. But as far as in your hand, how it feels your hand, it's pretty similar. I'll tell you what, I'm just gonna go on a little rabbit chase here. If you don't have one of these, holy heck, get you one. Seriously, get you one of these. Out of all these 3 knives, this one's the one to get out of these 3. I mean, I like this one. It's cool, and this one's awesome, but this one, just everything. Alright, so I'm done with that. So that's how that feels if you have one of these. Let me check the weight on this. I think it's going to be pretty similar. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, it's a little bit lighter. 5.6 with the fro there. And this one I brought out for a couple reasons. One, just to show you this has that Gladius blade. But this I brought out for a totally main different reason. Here's the thing. Here's what I'm going to talk about mostly on this Immortal. The blade, very cool looking. It's going to, you know, bring up some interesting conversations. And you pull this out, you got 4 inches of what amounts to be Russell Crowe madness here. And it's interesting. It looks like a sword, just the way they made it. This thing here gives you a little thumb ramp. There's no jimping, but it gives you a little thumb placement for maneuverability and for a little bit of leverage if you need it. Up here, you kind of can use the thumb plate here. Nothing up here you're going to want to do without slicing your finger open. So right through here, you're pretty good. You know, it's good. Yeah, good control. That's not going to slip out if you got to do some intricate work. Here's where it gets kind of interesting about the negatives of this knife, and the one main negative I can think of. I like just about everything. Of course, I like stuff that's different. I've been really preaching that lately, but here's the grip, the way they've contoured this grip. Unless you're going to carry this like a child's drawing of somebody carrying a sword like this, and you're just going to go around stabbing stuff, I don't know too many people that grip their knives like that. And that's one issue. See, if you look back here at the frenzy, see how they contoured that initial finger grip backwards just slightly? See, that feels great because these back 3 fingers come in like that. They come in straight back, but this first one is just contoured a little bit backwards. So even in this grip here, it's really comfortable. That's the problem with this Immortal. If this back, look at this. See the way they did this one? Just a little slight angle there, just so your finger goes kind of in a natural direction. If this Immortal had done this, I wouldn't have any complaints. But it's kind of a big deal because this doesn't feel comfortable. This grip doesn't feel comfortable because you're ending up gripping across here and you're gripping into this little ridge area here. And I know it sounds kind of whiny, but look at this. Look at the way that they did this on the Booker, Jim Wagner here. See the way this grip feels about as good as any knife you're ever going to get. See how those 3, well, even that back one's kind of contoured in, but even if that one wasn't, you see how it just fits nicely. Just a natural grip on this thing makes it a totally different experience. If you knew what you were doing and you could just kind of mill this out a little bit on each side for left or right, this would be a totally different knife experience. And I might try and find somebody that can do that. It's that big of a deal and it's that small of a deal. This is a great knife. You're going to get everything that you want out of a cold steel knife. With this knife, you know, you get the triad lock, you get the no lock, and I mean, it's sharp as heck. It's going to stab through steel or whatever you got to do with this thing. But this is just enough to not make me want to buy this again. I mean, it's just enough to just make, I mean, you're going to pay whatever I paid for this. I forget, but it's over $100, I know. And it's enough to just say, no, I don't want to carry this. It's just, and I know I've only had it for half a day, and it seems like a little bitty thing, but you know, if you're counting your pennies or you've saved up your money, and you're looking at this, or you know, maybe a AK-47, and all of a sudden you got to make decisions based on, well, what am I going to buy this month or this week, or I've saved up my allowance, or however you're doing it. This is enough to take this one out of the picture, out of these knives. And these are all pretty comparable, I think, as far as price. At least these 3 maybe. But regardless, even if if there's a swing here of $40, this one's out. If this one was 90 and this one's 100, this one still wins. I hate to do this because I love cold steel. And I love this knife in looking at it. As far as, dang, that's a cool looking knife. I mean, it looks cool. It fits in with the cool look of all these other knives. You're like, wow, yeah, those two are kind of the same, but that one in the middle, I mean, it's kind of with the frenzy as far as this new 2017 Cold Steel collection, and you're looking at it and you're just thinking, man, these are different, and this one's different, and it's usable and it feels good. And so then you're gonna grab this one, and it's just that little annoying thing. It's that little splinter in your brain just going, oh man, I spent all that money and the blade is cool and it doesn't feel good in my hand. I'm gonna go back to my Recon 1, or maybe I'm gonna see if they'll take it back and I can buy something else. And I don't want to use the S word, but it does stink. It stinks that this knife could have been just saved just by a little contouring through here. And I'm not trying to pick on it, but I just know that maybe some of y'all are thinking about getting it, or you're not going to be able to get it in hand beforehand. And I mean, that's part of my job reviewing this stuff, is to let y'all know the little picadillos that Cold Steel has made to either say, hey, get this, or hey, think about this before you get this. And that's all I'm saying. Hey, think about this before you get this, because that's not comfortable. I mean, let's try it right-handed. See, that it's usable, don't get me wrong. There's nothing with this grip right here that I can't do. I can do everything I want to do. Just, it's not going to slip out of my hand. I don't think it's going to cause any blisters. Maybe they'll, I don't know. But that's just, see where my finger is lying or wants to go across? Like I said, if you want to carry it like a robot, like you used to draw as cartoons, to stab things with, yeah, you're good to go. But just as a normal carrying, I don't think so. So I would say buy all these and then get you an Immortal if you want to, or maybe somewhere down the line they change out the scale a little bit. But for right now, man, I hate to do it too. I just wouldn't recommend this knife. As far as, I mean, I recommend it for use, and if you got more money and you know what to do with it, and you just have to have every Cold Steel ever made, yeah, this is a cool knife. It's cool to look at. It's cool to bring out and talk about. But if you're looking for a user, everything about this screams user. Everything's great. I mean, the slippy grip, you're not going to slip. It's got that lock. It's got that steel. Everything's just perfect. But a repeated user that you're going to use, you're probably going to want to look somewhere else. I think that would eat at you. It eats at me. And I love Cold Steel. I'm kind of a Cold Steel apologist. And if you look at my old videos, you hardly see me saying anything about Cold Steel that's negative. And this is just kind of one of those things. Alright, so there you go. I think I'm in Mr. Thompson's bad favor now. So if I show up missing, you'll know why. But like here, subscribe here. Let me know what you think. Is this a deal breaker for you, or do you think, you know, you can live with it? And if you have one, I don't know, I haven't seen too many people that have one, but if you have one, let me know what you think. I would love to know how my attitude towards it compares to yours. And I will talk to y'all later.